Silence is often misunderstood as a sign of weakness or passivity, but in truth it is a profound source of strength. It is not about the absence of sound or activity, it is about creating space for thoughtful reflection, understanding, and deliberate action. In a world where noise dominates, whether through constant conversation, endless notifications, or the pressure to always voice our opinions, silence becomes a rare and invaluable asset. It is the quiet moments that allow us to gather our thoughts, connect with our inner selves, and approach life with a clear mind and steady focus. When we are silent, we allow ourselves to observe the world with greater depth. Without the need to immediately respond or contribute to the noise, we can take in the nuances of situations, behaviors, and conversations. This heightened awareness often reveals patterns and opportunities that would otherwise go unnoticed. The ability to truly listen to others, to our surroundings, and to ourselves opens doors to understanding that speaking too soon or too much might close. Silence, therefore, is not just about what we refrain from saying, it is about what we make room to hear. In this space of silence, we gain clarity. The rush to speak often leads to hasty decisions or actions taken without full comprehension of the circumstance. But when we pause and remain silent, we give ourselves the gift of time. Time to think, to weigh options, and to consider the potential outcomes of our choices. This reflective process transforms silence into a tool for strategic thinking and intelligent decision-making. In this way, silence empowers us to act with purpose rather than reacting impulsively. Silence is also a powerful way to build respect and influence. When we speak less and listen more, we communicate a sense of confidence and self-assuredness. People are drawn to those who do not feel the need to fill every moment with words, as silence suggests a depth of thought and a strength of character. It signals that we are comfortable with ourselves, that we do not need to prove our worth through constant chatter. Moreover, silence can create anticipation and command attention. When we choose our words carefully and speak only when we have something meaningful to say, our words carry more weight. In relationships, silence plays an equally vital role. Effective communication is not only about expressing ourselves, but also about understanding others. Silence gives us the patience to truly hear what others are saying, not just their words, but the emotions and intentions behind them. It allows us to empathize, to connect on a deeper level, and to respond in a way that strengthens our bonds. Conversely, silence can also be a shield. In moments of conflict or tension, choosing silence over confrontation can prevent unnecessary escalation and give us the chance to approach the situation with a calm and measured perspective. The power of silence extends beyond our interactions with others and into our relationship with ourselves. In the quiet moments, we find the space to confront our thoughts and emotions, to process our experiences, and to grow. This self-awareness is crucial for personal development. Silence offers an opportunity to disconnect from the external noise and distractions that often cloud our minds and to reconnect with our values, goals, and aspirations. It is in these moments of solitude that we find clarity about who we are and what we want, laying the foundation for a life of purpose and fulfillment. In professional and creative pursuits, silence is equally transformative. Innovation and problem-solving require deep concentration and uninterrupted thought. Silence allows us to tap into our creative potential, to explore ideas freely without the constraints of external input. It provides the mental space necessary to overcome challenges and to approach our work with fresh perspectives. Many of history's greatest thinkers, artists, and leaders have credited their moments of solitude and silence as the source of their breakthroughs and achievements. This silence is not just a state of being, it is a practice. It requires discipline to resist the urge to fill every moment with words or distractions. It challenges us to be comfortable with stillness and to trust that action is not always immediate. But as we embrace silence, we begin to see its transformative effects on every aspect of our lives. We become more focused, more thoughtful, and more attuned to the world around us. We gain the strength to navigate challenges with resilience and the wisdom to seize opportunities with confidence. In a society that often equates speaking with power, silence reminds us of the immense power that lies in restraint. It is a quiet force that shapes our thoughts, guides our actions, and defines our presence. To be silent is not to do nothing, it is to prepare for everything. Silence is where strength begins, and through it we discover the potential to achieve anything we desire. Silence is a profound force often overlooked in a world dominated by noise. It is not the absence of activity or expression, but a dynamic space where growth, understanding, and strength reside. To be silent does not mean to be passive. Instead, it signifies a purposeful restraint, a choice to listen, observe, and absorb. Silence offers us clarity and composure, enabling us to navigate life's complexities with wisdom and intention. It is a tool that empowers us to reflect deeply, strategize effectively, and respond meaningfully. In silence, we find the ability to truly observe the world around us. Without the urge to constantly speak or react, we open ourselves to a heightened awareness of our surroundings. Conversations become more meaningful when we are present in them, not to reply, but to listen. People reveal more than their words convey. Body language, tone, and unspoken emotions tell a deeper story. Silence allows us to tune into these subtle cues and uncover truths that might otherwise remain hidden. By stepping back and observing, we gain insights that enrich our understanding of situations and relationships. Silence is also the space where clarity resides. In the fast pace of life, there is often little time to pause and reflect. Decisions are made hastily, sometimes without fully grasping their consequences. Silence slows us down and gives us the time we need to think critically and make informed choices. It acts as a filter, sifting through the chaos and isolating what truly matters. When we embrace silence, we create room for reflection, a moment to consider options, weigh outcomes, and align our actions with our values. This clarity transforms our silence into a strength, guiding us toward purposeful and impactful decisions. The power of silence extends to our interactions with others. When we are silent, we create a space that invites others to speak, to share, and to be heard. This is especially powerful in conversations where listening is often undervalued. Silence demonstrates respect and attentiveness, building trust and fostering connection. It shows that we are not simply waiting for our turn to speak, but are genuinely engaged. This form of active listening deepens relationships as people feel understood and valued in our presence. In moments of conflict, silence serves as a shield. It prevents us from speaking out of anger or frustration, words that might escalate tensions or cause harm. Silence allows us to process our emotions, step back from the heat of the moment, and approach the situation with a clear mind. It gives us the opportunity to choose our words carefully, ensuring that what we say contributes to resolution rather than discord. This restraint is not a sign of weakness, but a demonstration of emotional intelligence and self-control. Silence also plays a critical role in self-awareness and personal growth. In the quiet moments, away from the noise and distractions of daily life, we have the chance to look inward. It is in these moments that we confront our thoughts, assess our emotions, and gain insights into who we are. Silence creates a sacred space for introspection, where we can identify our strengths, acknowledge our fears, and reconnect with our aspirations. This inner work is essential for growth, as it lays the foundation for confidence and purpose. In the realm of creativity and problem solving, silence is equally transformative. Innovation requires focus and freedom from external input, both of which are fostered by silence. It is in the quiet moments that ideas flow freely and connections between seemingly unrelated concepts emerge. Silence encourages exploration, allowing us to think deeply and arrive at solutions that might not be apparent in the noise of constant activity. Many of the greatest breakthroughs in history have been born in solitude, when individuals embraced the silence and allowed their minds to wander and create. Silence is not merely the absence of sound, it is an active and deliberate choice. It challenges us to resist the urge to fill every moment with words, to trust in the power of stillness, and to find strength in restraint. It requires discipline and patience, qualities that are often in short supply in a world that values speed and immediacy. Yet those who master the art of silence discover its transformative power. They become more focused, more thoughtful, and more effective in every aspect of their lives. Silence is a source of strength, not weakness. It is where clarity begins, where wisdom takes root, and where action is prepared. By embracing silence, we unlock a force that allows us to observe, reflect, and respond with purpose. It is not about withdrawing from life, but engaging with it in a deeper and more intentional way. In silence, we find the courage to face challenges, the patience to wait for the right moment, and the wisdom to act with precision. Silence, then, is not the absence of power, it is the foundation of it. Understanding before reacting is a fundamental principle that can transform the way we navigate life's challenges and relationships. Often people fall into the trap of reacting impulsively to situations, driven by emotions or assumptions rather than taking the time to comprehend what is truly happening. This reactive approach can lead to misunderstandings, conflicts, and missed opportunities for growth. Silence, on the other hand, offers a pause, a moment to process, reflect, and genuinely understand. It is in this pause that we can see the full picture, make wiser decisions, and build stronger connections with others. In any interaction or situation, there is always more than meets the eye. Words spoken may carry hidden emotions, unspoken fears, or deeper intentions. When we react too quickly, we often miss these underlying layers. Silence, however, allows us to listen actively, not just to the words, but to the tone, body language, and context. It enables us to observe and process what is being communicated on multiple levels. This deeper understanding equips us to respond thoughtfully, rather than simply reacting based on surface impressions or preconceived notions. Listening with the intent to understand, rather than to reply, is a powerful practice. It requires patience and a willingness to set aside our own thoughts and judgments to focus entirely on the other person. This form of listening is rare, as many people listen only to formulate their response. Yet when we truly listen, we create a space where the other person feels heard and valued. This act of understanding builds trust and fosters meaningful connections. Silence plays a crucial role in this process, as it prevents us from interrupting, dominating the conversation, or rushing to conclusions. In moments of conflict or disagreement, the importance of understanding before reacting becomes even more evident. Conflict often arises from miscommunication or a lack of understanding of the other person's perspective. When tensions are high, our natural inclination may be to defend ourselves, argue, or retaliate. However, reacting in this way often exacerbates the situation, creating a cycle of hostility and blame. Silence, on the other hand, gives us the chance to pause and consider the situation from multiple angles. It allows us to step into the other person's shoes and see things from their point of view. This empathy can shift the dynamic. The benefits of understanding before reacting extend beyond personal relationships and into professional and social contexts. In a work environment, for example, misunderstandings can lead to inefficiency, frustration, and damaged morale. Leaders who practice silence and understanding cultivate a culture of respect and collaboration. By taking the time to listen and understand their team's concerns, they can address issues more effectively and inspire loyalty and trust. Similarly, in broader social interactions, approaching differences with a mindset of understanding rather than immediate judgment promotes harmony and mutual respect. Reacting impulsively often stems from a desire to assert control or defend our position. However, this need for immediacy can cloud our judgment and lead to actions we later regret. Silence interrupts this cycle by creating a moment of clarity. It helps us to separate our emotions from the situation at hand, allowing us to respond with intention rather than instinct. This thoughtful approach not only improves the quality of our interactions, but also enhances our sense of self-control and emotional intelligence. Silence also serves as a tool for self-reflection. Before we can understand others, we must first understand ourselves. By remaining silent in the face of challenges or conflicts, we create a space to examine our own thoughts, feelings, and motivations. Are we reacting out of fear, insecurity, or anger? Or are we responding with clarity, compassion, and confidence? This introspection helps us to align our actions with our values, ensuring that our responses are both authentic and constructive. Then understanding before reacting is not about suppressing our emotions or avoiding difficult conversations. It is about choosing to approach situations with mindfulness and intentionality. Silence empowers us to gather the information we need, process it thoughtfully, and respond in a way that adds value rather than creating division. It is a practice that requires patience, discipline, and self-awareness, but its rewards are profound. It leads to better relationships, wiser decisions, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. In a world that often rewards quick responses and instant gratification, the power of understanding before reacting is a refreshing and transformative approach. It reminds us that silence is not a weakness but a strength of pause that allows us to see clearly, think deeply, and act wisely. By embracing this practice, we cultivate not only better outcomes in our interactions but also a greater sense of harmony and purpose in our lives. Silence then becomes a bridge between reaction and understanding, guiding us toward a more thoughtful and compassionate way of being. In relationships is a powerful yet often underestimated practice that can transform how we connect with others. In a world where communication is often equated with speaking, we sometimes forget that silence is also an integral part of how we relate to one another. Silence does not mean the absence of communication. Rather, it creates a space for listening, understanding, and meaningful interaction. It is a language in itself, one that fosters empathy, trust, and deeper connections. In relationships, whether personal or professional, respecting silence can be the key to building bonds that are rooted in authenticity and mutual respect. At its core, silence is a gesture of respect. When we remain silent and allow someone else to speak, we are demonstrating that their thoughts, feelings, and experiences matter. It shows that we are willing to set aside our own need to express ourselves in order to truly hear what they have to say. This act of listening is more than just a passive activity. It is an active engagement with the other person's reality. By giving them the space to share without interruption or judgment, we create an environment where they feel safe and valued. This kind of respect is the foundation of any strong relationship. In conversations, silence can be a powerful tool for deepening understanding. It allows us to process what the other person is saying without rushing to respond. Too often we listen only to prepare our reply, rather than to truly absorb the meaning behind the words. Silence gives us the opportunity to focus entirely on the other person, to consider their perspective, and to connect with the emotions behind their words. This kind of attentive listening strengthens relationships by showing that we are present and invested in the interaction. Silence also plays an important role in resolving conflicts. When tensions are high, our instinct is often to defend ourselves or to argue our point. However, this reactive approach can escalate the situation and create barriers to resolution. Silence, on the other hand, allows us to step back and approach the conflict with a calm and thoughtful mindset. It gives us time to process our emotions, consider the other person's perspective, and choose our words carefully. By remaining silent in moments of anger or frustration, we avoid saying things that we might later regret and create an opportunity for constructive dialogue. In relationships, silence is also a way of showing empathy. Sometimes words are not necessary or even appropriate. When someone is experiencing pain, grief, or difficulty, simply being present and offering silent support can be more powerful than any words of comfort. Silence conveys that we are there for them, that we acknowledge their feelings, and that we are willing to hold space for their emotions without trying to fix or minimize them. This kind of silent empathy can deepen trust and reinforce the bond between two people. Respecting silence also means recognizing when it is needed in the relationship itself. Every relationship requires moments of quiet to thrive. Constant communication can sometimes lead to misunderstandings or a sense of overwhelm. Silence allows both individuals to reflect, recharge, and reconnect with themselves, which in turn enhances the relationship. It creates a balance between togetherness and individuality, ensuring that each person has the space to grow and flourish. In professional relationships, respecting silence is equally important. It can enhance teamwork, leadership, and collaboration. For example, a leader who practices silence during meetings demonstrates a willingness to listen and encourages others to share their ideas. This creates an atmosphere of respect and inclusivity where everyone feels that their voice matters. Similarly, in negotiations or decision-making, silence can be a strategic tool. It allows time for reflection, ensures that all perspectives are considered, and often leads to more thoughtful and effective outcomes. Silence in relationships is not just about listening to others, it is also about listening to ourselves. By embracing moments of silence, we gain clarity about our own thoughts and emotions. This self-awareness is essential for understanding our needs, boundaries, and values. When we are in tune with ourselves, we are better equipped to communicate openly and honestly with others, fostering relationships that are grounded in authenticity. Respecting silence requires patience and mindfulness. It challenges us to resist the urge to fill every moment with words and to embrace the stillness that allows for deeper connection. It is a practice that invites us to slow down, to be present, and to approach our relationships with intention and care. In doing so, we discover that silence is not a void but a bridge, a way to connect more deeply with others and with ourselves. Silence in relationships is a profound expression of respect, empathy, and understanding. It allows us to listen more deeply, respond more thoughtfully, and connect more authentically. By respecting silence, we create space for growth, healing, and meaningful interaction. It is a reminder that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do in a relationship is simply to be present, to listen, and to honor the unspoken truths that words cannot fully capture. In the quiet moments, relationships find their strength and their depth. Silence, when embraced with intention, creates the space needed for deep self-reflection and clarity of purpose. In a world filled with constant noise, distractions, and demands on our attention, it is easy to lose sight of who we are and what truly matters. Silence acts as a sanctuary, a refuge where we can disconnect from external chaos and reconnect with our inner selves. It offers us the time and stillness required to examine our thoughts, understand our emotions, and align our actions with our goals and values. One of the most profound gifts of silence is the opportunity it provides to tune into our inner voice. In the busyness of daily life, this voice is often drowned out by external pressures and the opinions of others. We are constantly influenced by what we see, hear, and experience, which can cloud our judgment and lead us away from our true selves. Silence allows us to step away from these influences and to listen to our own thoughts and desires. It is in this quiet space that we gain a clearer understanding of what we truly want, as opposed to what we think we should want based on societal expectations or the demands of others. Self-reflection is a critical aspect of personal growth, and silence is its greatest ally. When we take the time to sit with ourselves in silence, we create an environment for honest introspection. This is not always comfortable, as it requires us to confront our fears, insecurities, and mistakes. However, it is only through this process of self-awareness that we can grow. Silence enables us to ask ourselves meaningful questions. Are we living in alignment with our values? Are our actions reflective of our aspirations? What are the areas in our lives where we need to improve? These questions and the answers that arise in moments of stillness guide us toward a life of purpose and fulfillment. Clarity of purpose emerges when we take the time to understand ourselves deeply. In the silence, we can sift through the noise of competing priorities and focus on what is truly important. Purpose is not something that can be discovered in haste. It requires patience, reflection, and the willingness to sit with uncertainty. Silence provides the mental space to explore our passions, identify our strengths, and consider how we can use them to contribute meaningfully to the world. It is in these quiet moments that we often experience breakthroughs, moments of insight that illuminate our path forward. Silence also helps us to recharge and reset, which is essential for maintaining clarity of purpose. The constant demands of life can leave us feeling drained and scattered, making it difficult to think clearly or make intentional choices. Silence offers a reprieve, a chance to slow down and center ourselves. It allows us to release stress, regain focus, and reconnect with our inner strength. When we return to our goals and responsibilities after a period of silence, we do so with renewed energy and a clearer perspective. In addition to fostering self-awareness, silence sharpens our ability to focus. In a world of endless distractions, the ability to concentrate on what truly matters is a rare and valuable skill. Silence trains us to be present, to direct our attention intentionally, and to resist the pull of external interruptions. This focused state of mind is crucial for achieving clarity and for making progress toward our goals. It enables us to approach our task with purpose and to navigate challenges with resilience. The practice of embracing silence is not just about finding clarity in the present, it is also about preparing for the future. When we take the time to reflect in silence, we are better equipped to make decisions that align with our long-term aspirations. We can anticipate potential obstacles, develop strategies to overcome them, and set intentions that guide our actions. Silence helps us to approach life with a sense of direction, ensuring that we are not simply reacting to circumstances but actively shaping our path. Embracing silence is a practice that requires discipline and courage. It can be uncomfortable to sit with our thoughts and confront the truths that arise. However, it is in these moments of stillness that we find the answer we seek and the clarity we need. Silence teaches us to trust ourselves, to listen to our intuition, and to honor our own wisdom. It is a practice that deepens our understanding of who we are and empowers us to live authentically. Silence is not merely the absence of sound, it is the presence of self. It is a space where we can reflect, recharge, and realign with our purpose. By embracing silence, we create the conditions for growth, clarity, and fulfillment. It is a reminder that amidst the noise of life, the answers we seek are often found in the quiet moments. Silence is not a void, but a source of strength and wisdom, guiding us toward a life of meaning and intention. Silence cultivates discipline and self-control, two foundational qualities that are essential for achieving success and fulfillment in life. In a world where immediate gratification is often encouraged and celebrated, the ability to remain silent, composed, and restrained can seem counterintuitive. However, this discipline in silence fosters clarity, focus, and emotional intelligence, all of which are critical for navigating challenges and seizing opportunities. Silence is not just the absence of words, it is the presence of intentionality, a deliberate choice to pause, think, and act with purpose. Discipline begins with the ability to control impulsive reactions, and silence is a powerful tool for achieving this control. Life is full of situations that test our patience and provoke emotional responses. Whether it's a heated argument, a moment of frustration, or a decision made under pressure, the temptation to react impulsively can be overwhelming. Silence acts as a buffer, giving us the space to process our emotions and evaluate the situation before responding. This pause prevents us from saying or doing things we might later regret. It also allows us to consider the consequences of our actions and choose a course of action that aligns with our goals and values. In the realm of communication, silence demonstrates mastery over one's emotions and impulses. It requires great self-control to listen without interrupting, to hold back when emotions are running high, and to respond thoughtfully rather than defensively. This kind of discipline is particularly valuable in conflict resolution. When tensions rise, silence can diffuse the situation by creating a moment of calm. It shows restraint and maturity, signaling that we are not driven by anger or frustration but are committed to finding a constructive solution. This ability to remain composed under pressure builds trust and respect in our relationships, whether personal or professional. Silence also fosters discipline by teaching us to resist the urge for constant validation and attention. In today's digital age, where social media and instant communication dominate, there is often pressure to share every thought, achievement, or opinion with the world. However, true discipline lies in the ability to withhold, to keep certain thoughts and intentions private, and to act without seeking external approval. Silence allows us to focus inward, to pursue our goals quietly and diligently, without being swayed by the opinions or expectations of others. This self-restraint not only preserves our energy, but also strengthens our resolve and independence. Self-control is closely tied to our ability to manage our time and priorities, and silence can play a transformative role in this area as well. By stepping away from distractions and embracing moments of quiet, we create the mental space needed to focus on what truly matters. Silence helps us to filter out the noise and chaos that often compete for our attention, enabling us to concentrate on our goals with clarity and purpose. It takes discipline to say no to distractions, to carve out time for reflection, and to remain committed to our priorities. Silence in this context becomes a practice of intentional living, where every action is aligned with our long-term aspirations. Another way silence cultivates discipline is by teaching us patience. Success rarely comes overnight. It is the result of consistent effort, persistence, and the ability to endure setbacks without giving up. Silence helps us to develop this patience by encouraging us to embrace stillness and resist the urge for immediate results. It reminds us that growth and progress often occur in the quiet moments when we are working diligently behind the scenes, without fanfare or recognition. This discipline in waiting and working silently builds resilience and strengthens our character, preparing us for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Silence also sharpens our ability to think critically and make sound decisions, both of which require discipline. In a world filled with constant input and information, it is easy to feel overwhelmed or rushed into making choices. Silence gives us the time and space to analyze situations carefully, weigh our options, and consider the potential outcomes of our actions. It takes self-control to resist the pressure to act hastily and to instead prioritize thoughtful decision-making. This disciplined approach often leads to better outcomes, as our actions are guided by wisdom and intentionality rather than impulsiveness. Silence nurtures a sense of inner peace and emotional balance, which are essential for maintaining discipline in the face of life's challenges. When we embrace silence, we create a space to process our thoughts and emotions, to reflect on our experiences, and to recharge our mental and emotional energy. This practice of self-care strengthens our ability to stay focused and composed, even in the midst of stress or uncertainty. It allows us to approach life with a sense of calm and control, ensuring that we remain steady and disciplined in our pursuit of our goals. In conclusion, silence is a powerful teacher of discipline and self-control. It challenges us to resist impulsive reactions, to listen more deeply, and to act with intentionality. It fosters patience, focus, and emotional intelligence, all of which are essential for personal and professional growth. By embracing silence, we cultivate the strength and resilience needed to navigate life's complexities with wisdom and grace. Silence is not a weakness, but a profound act of self-mastery, guiding us toward a life of purpose, clarity, and fulfillment.